Hi, folks. Good morning. We are doing a lesson on isosceles and equilateral triangles. So if you will find this in your note packet, that yellow one that says something with triangle relationships on the front. So we are going to talk about an isosceles and equilateral triangle in depth today. So you kind of already know what those two triangles are, right? We know an isosceles triangle has two sides the same, and an equilateral triangle has all sides the same. But now we're going to kind of learn some more things about our isosceles triangles and equilateral, I suppose, for that matter. Okay, so let's just kind of dive in here. So we know that an isosceles triangle has two congruent sides, right? And we actually call those sides the legs. So our two congruent sides are called the legs. So I'm going to write that on my picture. There's a leg and there's a leg. The two with the congruent marking, right? Those are my legs. Okay. The angle where the sides intersect is called the vertex angle. So where our two legs intersect is called the vertex angle. So that's actually angle B. You guys see that's where my two legs touch? That is our vertex angle. And will you please kind of label these on your triangle too? I promise it will help you in the future. The side opposite your vertex angle is called the base. So the non-leg side, right? So the down here, AC, this is our base. It's across from our vertex angle, or you can think of it as the non-leg side. Now the two angles along the base are called base angles. Base angles. Let's label those two. So angle A is a base angle, and angle 3 is a base angle. And maybe in this space right here, will you guys put a star and put they're always the same? Always congruent. They're always going to be the same measure. And the reason for that is because they're across from our two equal sides. So really, I just gave you a ton of information in that little bit of notes you just did. So I'm going to actually show you just a little thing on the internet here, manipulative. So do you guys see how we have an isosceles triangle, right? Do you guys see how my legs are the same? So if you look, here's my base angle and there's a base angle and they're the same. So if I move A around, again, here's my leg. It's congruent to my other leg and my two base angles are the same. Doesn't matter how big or small we go or how tiny it is, my base angles are always congruent and my legs are always congruent. Does that make sense, you guys? So now we're going to do some algebra and finding the missing parts of an isosceles triangle. So big takeaway is our legs are always the same, right here and here, right? And then our base angles are congruent to each other, okay? Isosceles. All right. So let's go back to our notes here and see if we can fill in these missing variables, all right? So it says find the value of the variable. So on this one here, we're looking for y. So can we agree that these two angles are my base angles? So they have to be the same. So if this guy is 50, then I know y also has to be 50. And if it helps you, you guys, to figure out which one's your base angle, connect them to your legs. Your legs will always have those tick marks. So I know that these are my base angles. They're equal. Or can you go the other way, right? I'm given my base angles because they're equal. So I know that my two legs have to be the same. If this guy is 9, well, that side has to be 9. Sometimes it's almost just too obvious to figure out what it is, right? Like, don't overthink it. Okay, on this one, base angle, so here's a leg, so I know they have to be equal. How do I get y by itself? Well, we have to subtract 4. So y should be 12. Okay, let's try another one. Again, there's a base angle, So there's a leg, here's a leg. So they have to be the same, right? So x plus 3 equals 12. Subtract 3 over. Y equals 9. Just when you think like things are going great, we're going to throw a curveball at you. Okay? So this gets kind of crazy. So here are my two congruent legs, right? So I know that this right here is a base angle and this is a base angle. Okay? So I know they're the same, right? So if this is x and this has to be x. But how are we going to figure out what x is? Well, think back to a couple lessons ago. What do all three of my angles have to add to? 180, right? So I'm going to have x plus 40 equals 180. So if I add my like terms, I'm going to have 2x's plus 40 equals 180. Minus 40 over. I should get 140. My last step should be divide by 2. So x equals 70. That was kind of a tough one. Really, it really was, you guys. That was tough. Yep, 70. Okay, let's try another one here. Okay, again, base angle, so I know my legs have to be the same. So if this is 7, x has to equal 7. All right, let's check this guy out. Again, here are my congruent legs. So here's a base angle, there's a base angle. So I know they have to be the same, right? So x equals 75. And again, I don't know, I must have been just feeling mean when I made your note packets a while ago because this is another curveball. Careful on this, right? Here's a leg, here's a leg. So this is a base angle, and this is a base angle. Okay, so I'm really looking for the vertex angle. So if this angle is 54, I know that angle has to be 54. And what do all three of these have to add to? 180, right? Because that's how many degrees are in a triangle. So if we add like terms, what's 54 plus 54? 108. How do I get x by itself? Subtract over. So x equals 72. Woo! Good work. Okay, so in a nutshell, big takeaways, folks, on an isosceles triangle. Your legs are always the same, and your base angles are always the same, okay? So now we're going to shift gears and talk about an equilateral triangle, which we pretty much know most things already about it. But we know that all of our sides are the same, right? So let's mark those. That's because they are all congruent. And since all of our angles have to be the same, what do they have to measure? Remember, there's 180 degrees in a triangle, and if I divide it by 3, we should get 60 degrees. So these little angles in here all have to be 60, so maybe you guys want to write that. These are all 60 degrees because they're all the same measure. So again, some of these questions they're going to ask you are so obvious they're hard to answer because you like second guess yourself. So when we're looking for the variable here, here's my angle measure. Well, what do I know that has to equal? Well, our angles have to equal 60, so now I know what my equation has to be. It's going to be 6x is equal to 60. How do I get x alone? Divide by 6. X equals 10. On triangle QRT, we're talking about our sides, and we know that all of our sides are equal. So an equation we can write is 3x is equal to 2x plus 10. What do we want to do now, folks? Minus 2x over. 3x minus 2x is just 1x. X is equal to 10. Woo! Good job. Maybe you want to pause the video and try these two on your own. See how it goes before I do them with you. Okay, on this first one, we're talking about an angle again, right? All my angles are the same, so I know they're all 60 degrees. So what's an equation I can write? I hope you're thinking 2x plus 32 is equal to 60. And now we just solve like normal. Subtract over our 32, drop down our 2x. 60 minus 32 is 28. Divide out. X is equal to 14. Is that what you got? Now this last one we know is equilateral because all of our angles are the same, so I know all my sides are the same. So we can write 5y minus 6 is equal to 4y plus 12. Minus 4y to both sides. So we'll have y minus 6 is equal to 12. Add 6 over. Y is equal to 18. Woo! Good job. Okay, depending on what class you're in, wave your hand or show the adult in the room that you took notes and then grab the worksheet. I will start it with you. So your worksheet should be, I don't know what color you guys. Tan, like a tannish color, I think. Let's do some of these together to get you on a good start, okay? What's the difference between equilateral and equiangular? Let's go like this. We'll just draw arrows. Equilateral means equal sides. Equiangular means equal angles. Perfect. All right, let's do some of these next ones together. Tell which sides of the triangle are congruent. So you got to look for the tick marks. So on this first one, well, I have 3 tick marks. So that means all of our sides are congruent. So how would I name that side? It would be LM. This side here, MN. And our last side here, LN. Perfect. Good job. Okay, let's do the next one because it's kind of goofy. Okay, remember, I have an isosceles triangle, and these are my base angles. So what side's across from that one? That would be TS. And that's congruent to RS. Okay, I'm going to leave that last one for you to do. Let's pick a few of these next ones to do together. Let's see here, folks. So we have to decide if the triangle's isosceles or equilateral, then find the value of the variable. First two should be okay. Let's do this one right here. So let's decide, is isosceles or equilateral? Well, I have two sides the same, so I know it's isosceles, so I'm going to circle that. And now we're looking for the value of x. So remember, here's a base angle, here's a base angle. They have to be the same. So now I can write an equation at least. So I know that all three of these things have to add to 180, right? And don't forget that that box means 90. So we're going to have x plus 90 is equal to 180. Combine our like terms. Good work. Subtract over 90. Then our last step is to divide by 2. So x equals 45. So on your sheet, you should have an answer bank, right? So see if 45 is down there. I hope you're getting a yes, because that is our answer. Perfect. Okay, let's maybe do one more on this page. That should be okay, that should be okay. Let's do this one right here underneath it. This is kind of a goofy one. This one right here. Okay, so let's decide. Isosceles or equilateral? It is indeed equilateral because all of our sides are the same. So now to find, that should be a y. To find our y, we have to write an equation, right? So you can pick any two sides and set them equal to each other. Let's pick these two. I'm going to do those two. So 2y equals 10. Divide by 2, y equals 5. Okay, and again, that should be on the bottom, so check it off for me. Okay, let's flip it over. Let's do a few on this side, okay? And then I'll let you go. Let's do... Let's do the top right corner. So again, let's look. Isosceles or equilateral. I have two sides the same, so it's isosceles. But now, what's this guy right here? Well, don't forget, your base angles are the same. So there's a base angle, so I know that these are the same. Now together, what do all three of our angles have to add to? 180, right? So we're going to have 3x plus 3x plus 4x equals 180. Combine your like terms. How many total x's do we have there, folks? We should have 10, right? Get x by itself. X should be 18. Again, check the bottom, make sure it works out. Okay, I found one more, and then I'll let you be free. Okay, this one right here. So again, isosceles or equilateral. Two legs are the same, so it's isosceles. You got to find the value of x. So again, it's kind of like the one we just did, right? What does this angle C measure? Well, if this is a base angle, so that's across from our legs, so is this guy right here. So it has to be 50 degrees. So now our equation, we can write all three of our angles have to add to 180. Combine your like terms. 50 plus 50 is 100. Subtract over 100. Oops. We should get 80, right? Again, check it off on the bottom. Okay, thank you guys for being awesome. Finish this worksheet, and you should be good to go for the rest of the day. I will see you tomorrow, and thank you for watching our video lesson. Have a good day. Goodbye.